All right. What the fuck is up? This is Wild Philosophy. We are here today with your special guest, Tito.
Greetings.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Are you-
Salutations.
What do you do on? What do you do for work? Because you got a Bluetooth.
Oh yeah, my bad.
No, it's all good.
I drive for Lyft.
Yeah.
Whenever I have free time, I'm not doing comedy or renting apartments.
Yeah.
I drive for Lyft, and usually on weekends I'll go like it's like Friday pretty hard, Saturday pretty hard, and then like a half day Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's
Like going hard driving.
yeah.
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 Bro, if you got work ethic doing that shit, you make a lot of money. Seriously.
I mean, consistency is key in anything. So.
Yeah.
But right now I have I rent apartments during the day. Like I post ads, I have showings. I just try to funnel people into apartments.
Yeah.
And that's good. But I decided to pay off all my debt. Like
Credit card.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to chuck like a G at it every week or so.
Nice.
And so that's if not for that, I could probably just rely on some of that income from the rentals and comedy a little bit and chill. But I'm like, nah, dog. 6 months would probably give me the rest of my life back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Like people are lazy, and if you realize
6 months of what? Paying it off?
6 months of just gung ho every week pay off like anywhere between 600 to 1,000.
Yeah.
And you can do
Yeah.
it. You can drive. If you drive 40 hours, you should make at least 1,200.
Yeah. Yeah.
You give or take your gas and expenses. So at the end of the day, you should come out of it. I don't eat out. I don't really do like frivolous spending.
Yeah.
So for me right now, it's like.
What's your? I know I drove for Uber,
Yeah.
but they suspended me permanently.
Yeah, that happens, baby.
So what's like your Lyft Uber snack?
Oh, I have walnuts.
Yeah.
I have walnuts and dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Sometimes the dark chocolate almonds, and then I just put it in this little bin, and I put it in my in the middle of the shit.
Yeah.
And I need the sugar for the if I'm like at hour 7 and I'm like struggling, I need the sugar, but I like the walnuts because it keeps my brain active too without the spike. So I figured out my method already.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't talk to nobody. I never fucking try to engage.
Mm-hmm.
If they have a conversation with me, I'm very friendly and I know how to do the thing.
Yeah.
But I've done it so long now where I don't fucking care.
Yeah. Yeah. What's like the craziest ride you think you had? Like
I remember the first time I had to give out 1 star and write somebody up. It was before COVID. You remember like the shared rides?
Yeah.
Multiple people would get in the car and everyone had a different destination.
Yeah.
So it's like Saturday morning, bro. It's like May-ish.
Yeah.
Because it's nice. I have the windows at half. So I'm in this fucking RIP, my Honda. I was in a Civic, like an 05 Civic.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And
that's Polish guy's fucking thing,
yeah.
man.
Did the hair on your back just stand up?
Yeah. I gotta put it down, dude.
And so I have one cat. He's like 17 years old. I pick him up. He sits in the back. No, actually, my bad. I pick up this one guy. He's kind of shorter version of you almost, but like way no hair.
Yeah.
And this is like 9 a.m, and he's being very rude and loud. And I'm like, okay. And he keeps trying to tell me about this girl he's got a date with the next day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whatever. We had to pick up the young kid, the 17-year-old. And I see, and he's going to get dropped off at Whitney Young for the lifeguard test.
Yeah.
Which I knew about because I was a lifeguard. I was like, Saturday morning at Whitney, I was like, are you going to be a lifeguard? He's like, yeah, I'm taking a test. As soon as we stopped talking to this guy, he just started getting real obnoxious. And he was trying to make me turn off the radio and listen to this metal song on his phone. And he's like, you guys gotta listen. You guys listen to this song. It's so good. And I'm like, bro, chill. It's 9. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a high and by situation, and he gets in, so I just kind of ignore it. He starts talking shit to the kid next to him.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. The kid mentioned something about some little scam he got into. Some young man shit, and this guy starts going, I'm gonna call the cops on you. I'm gonna call the cops on you. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then the kid goes, how about I call the cops on you? You're the one drinking. And I'm like, what? And he had a fucking beer in his jacket that he was drinking. And then I look in the rear view and he goes, what beer? And he lowers the window and he chucks the beer and hits a car.
Yeah. That's the guy that reminds you of me, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I had to drop him off because his place was like a minute from where we were going. He was going to Honey Butter Chicken.
Yeah.
He was going to this really nice fried chicken place. And he was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
He's clearly an alcoholic.
How old is this guy?
He's probably in his mid-20s.
Okay.
He was probably in his mid-20s.
Yeah.
I didn't smell it, but apparently he was very aggressive. He kept telling us about this girl he's on a date with that but no one believed existed.
Yeah.
He hit a beer, drank the beer, threatened my other passenger.
Yeah.
And he throws the beer out the window, and it was just like fuck all. It was just straight up fuck all.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm mad sorry, my guy, you know?
Yeah.
And I gave that guy a 1. I wrote him up. I had to like respond to emails and shit. He got kicked off the system.
Yeah.
But like I felt bad because I mean, I could have handled him on my own, but this 17-year-old kid just trying to become a lifeguard for the summer is getting fucking taunted and
yeah.
like all this. It wasn't no more than 15 minutes either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like there was a buildup. It was like straight up into the madness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever get any celebrities or anything? Like
apparently, what is that Spike Lee movie that won the Oscars? What's the Spike Lee? About the gay black dude? Something Moon.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Moonlight? Maybe?
Yeah, Moonlight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I drove the kid. Apparently, I didn't see Moonlight because it's gay. Apparently, the kid that played the young version of the lead role.
Okay.
I drove him and his dad.
Yeah.
And his dad was this fucking Jamaican. He was dressed like you, but green.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's Jamaican.
Yeah.
And I pick him up from the studio lot over by Ogden. And I'm just driving. He's like, do you know who my son is? I was like, what? He's like, have you seen Moonlight? I was like, no.
Did you pick up Femi?
That's funny. And then he goes on and the kid's just like in a polo and just like on his phone chilling. And his dad was the one talking the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I see it. I get the parents that take over their kids' lives.
Yeah.
Because he could have just been chill, but he wasn't.
You know, I was on he's a newer comic, Derek Alderson. He's kind of doing this thing where I was on. He's doing a show where he's doing all these Uber stories. So I shared my shit on there.
I started doing that years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to do it again.
Yeah. So, no, I had like, apparently I picked up the guitarist from Godsmack one time, and we were in traffic, and he was really pumped because I was listening to metal. It's like, you know who I am?
Oh, word.
And then I was just like, he's like, you ever hear of Godsmack? I'm like, and I wasn't. I'm you know when you're in the moment, you're trying to focus on traffic.
Yeah.
So I was being blunt. He's like, you ever like Godsmack? When I was in 8th grade, like I shut this guy down.
That's crazy.
But then I mean, I had a bunch of I drove a crackhead. I picked up a lady who got released from jail because she had crack in her like Buick, like just all like hidden. So they put her thing in the impound.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I had the whole thing. I think I still have it because it was so funny. I have it on my dash cam, like recorded.
That's hilarious.
Because she's just fucking throwing left and right hooks at my passenger seat because they're telling her, they're like, you can't have this car back. And one cop she talked to, she's like, that's my mom's car. It's got sentimental value. I drove with my. And then like she gets put on the other line. And he's like, we just got that car. I'm like, bitch, if you're gonna do crime, you got to stick to your story. Why am I teaching you about crime? You know?
Yeah.
And then
That's hilarious.
I mean,
I picked up 2 meth heads at 1 a.m. on like the west.
they're always white, right?
Yo, the guy was white, the girl wasn't.
Okay.
But it was like a summer night. It was one of these random nights where I'm like, I'm just gonna keep driving, you know.
Yeah.
And it was
what neighborhood was it?
Like Garfield Parkish.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe a little more south of that.
Yeah.
Probably a little more south. Probably south of 290. Either way, so it's like 1-something in the morning. I get the it was like 55th and like Kedzie.
Yeah.
So definitely not Garfield. But anyways, doesn't matter. I go and I pick them up, and they're just gonna go to the gas station.
Yeah.
So I pick them up, and the 2 are just in the back, kind of just like talking nonstop.
Yeah.
And the guy starts talking to me. He's like, "Where you from?" And then he had this whole backstory of like being in Chicago, going to California, coming back, all this, his whole life story. And this is like a short ride.
Yeah.
And she's just back there like zoned out, laughing, and then talking. And then I noticed they're both drenched in sweat.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go to the gas station. They're like, "You want anything? You want anything? I'll get you whatever you want. You want some chips? I'll get you chips." I was like, "Get whatever the fuck you want."
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever. And they bought those like little pipes that have like the flowers in them. You ever seen? If you ever go to the hood, they have these like random little like flowers inside of a tube.
Okay.
With it looks like a
one hitter,
like a little tube. It's not anything. We know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like we know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like when they sell cigars.
Okay.
Right? You go to the gas station, you get the cigar because you're gonna empty it out and roll a blunt.
Yeah.
They sell these little like flower decoration things at these gas stations. They're like $1 or $2.
Yeah.
And you just take all of it out, and it's a pipe.
Okay.
Because the way it's shaped and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So they were picking up new pipes.
Yeah.
To go smoke meth.
Yeah.
And honestly, I had a really good time. I had a really good time. The guy was very cool. He was trying
smoked someone up?
Nah. He was sweating through his fucking shit.
Yeah.
And I was nervous for him. And the black lady that he was with, they had just met too. So it was a whole meth like Romeo Juliet thing going on.
Yeah.
But I did blow with a guy once. No, with a few guys. See, I have a give me Coke face for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
People always be like, "You want some Coke?"
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Yeah, why not?" You know.
Dude, I've had I've worked at 2 places where, like I started and they had like a work party.
Yeah.
And they just went up to me and they go, "So you're new. You got the Coke, right?" Like just assuming that I already do Coke. I'm like,
hate
no,
when they
man.
do that and they're right.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd be like, "Yeah, but I'm low, so I can't give you any."
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
bro.
I had a guy, he was married with a kid. It was Lollapalooza weekend, Thursday, and he was going to Gallagher, one of the Oasis guys.
Noel probably, right?
Yeah.
Flying Noel, yeah, flying high flying birds. Was
Yeah.
it at Northerly Island?
No. This was some like small show at a little venue at the end of Armitage right before the lake.
Okay.
Forget what it's called.
Okay.
But either way, he gets in, he starts telling me about his wife and how they used to party.
Yeah.
And how they used to just go hard.
Yeah.
Now they got this little kid, and he's like, "This is my one day." He's like, "I had to plan this for a while."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yes, what you gonna do?" And he just fucking pulled out this gigantic bag of blow. he's like, "Daddy's going back home."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" And he had like a little pen cap. He's like, "You want?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, dude." And then he just geeked me out, and I just fucking drove for like 5 hours just straight, like.
Bro, that's funny that you mention Blow and Gallagher, because I'm like, Oasis is my favorite band.
Oh, nice.
Like if I got that fucking energy, maybe that's got like some correlation. Because, dude, I'm telling you, when they reunited, I told my wife, I'm like, see, I fucking manifested this shit.
Look at it.
And I'm
the
like,
reason you have Oasis out again is because of the Wild Phil. Yeah. Congratulations.
And I'm like, dude, I'm willing to sell a house for these tickets.
Oh wow.
So I got 2 extra tickets that I didn't need. I put down like $2,000. It sucks. I gotta
Damn.
sell that shit. StubHub is fucking me over.
You bought them and now you're sitting on them?
Yeah. Well, no. Well, they won't transfer from StubHub to Ticketmaster because they got some. Dude, StubHub fucking sucks.
Yeah.
There's always some, and I wrote like 5 emails to them. They're like, we have till 4 hours until the day of the show to transfer them to you.
Okay.
So I can't even fucking. How you gonna sell something in 4 hours? You know?
because they probably don't want scalpers.
Yeah.
It's a whole scalper thing.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't really know Oasis. I just remember that story from that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very pumped. I mean, it was like 4:30. It was an early
That's what
show.
I fucking lost my voice to karaoke.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's sad, dude. It's fucking sad.
If you're a white guy with a guitar that plays Oasis, did you really go to college? You know, that every time that if a white boy came out with a guitar, I'm like, oh my god, it's a Wonderwall, isn't it?
Yeah, dude. I get what you're saying. Like, but yeah, I fucking with a Uber, I had. You reminded me of the share thing, like you pick up 2 different people. I remember one time I picked up. There was like just this very, my Cuban buddy Carlos, he calls it silver tooth energy, like just over the border Mexican guy, like just really short guy, like smaller than the average, and then the next guy was, I'm not joking, like Dave Blunt's size.
Damn.
And I'm in a Prius.
Oh no!
So it's the car is leaning.
Yeah,
you know.
Leaning.
We're fucking like it's like a Paul Wall video, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like I was looking in the review and I felt bad for this fat guy because he just couldn't sleep, so he kept falling asleep and then like cuddling up to the small Mexican,
and the small Mexican guy was like loving it. Oh, never mind.
And like he couldn't speak English, so he was like he didn't know what to say to get this motherfucker off. And I'm looking in the rear view, just like laughing my ass off, and then I forgot that like some of the side streets in the city, they have the speed bumps. Yeah. So I was going like 50, and then I flew over it. So the fat guy just landed on the small guy.
That's so funny.
So
I would watch that movie.
Yeah,
I'd watch that movie. One time when I was back in my Honda days, and it's first of all, if you got a Honda or Toyota, these cars are made for tiny Japanese people.
Yeah.
Not Midwest Americans. I'll tell you that much. So I get the thing, and I look, and it's a family of 3. The mom, the daughter, and the brother.
Yeah.
Now, the brother had to have been at least 6'4", 6'5", 310. I mean, big boy.
Yeah.
Big boy, like offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Like he looked athletic, but goddamn, he was big.
Yeah.
He has to get in the front and put the seat all the way back. But his mom and his sister were like half his height.
Yeah.
But twice his size, dude. They were fucking big.
Yeah.
I was nervous.
Midwest fatties.
They were rotund. If there was one more person, there wasn't space.
Yeah.
There just wasn't space. They literally filled up the volume of the inside of the Honda Civic.
Yeah.
And they get in the car, and his head is like touching the fucking roof of my car, but we're so fucking low, we're feeling everything.
Yeah.
Because the mom was just so big, and his sister was also. I felt kind of weird. But I had to laugh to myself because I was taking them to the Taste of Chicago to drop these motherfuckers off in front of food. And I was just everything in me to not laugh. But when they got out the car, bro, that shit like sprung back to life. I was like, I didn't know I had hydraulics in this bitch.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I didn't say anything, but I mean, you could tell in the car that it was tense for like no reason.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it's because you are all fucking
Why didn't you
obese.
come with a bigger car?
Yeah, it's like my fault that you got the cheapest ride you can get.
Yeah.
In a fucking 05 Civic to save a few bucks.
Yeah.
Now your fat ass has to like sit in silence and think about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry if you're fat and get offended. I don't care.
I just started on that Ozempic.
Don't.
So I'm in that transition phase of being able to.
Don't.
Have you tried it?
No, I don't have to.
No.
I eat right.
Yeah.
I work out. I don't eat sugar.
Yeah.
I don't eat bread. I don't have an excess of carbs.
Yeah.
I made that transition in my 20s.
Yeah.
But Ozempic's gonna probably fuck your stomach up. It's gonna reduce your bone density. Because it just does, and we don't have any long-term effects or studies on it. And I feel like it's for people who are severely overweight.
Well, it's like diabetics been taking it for like 20 years though, you know. So
we'll see. But you look like you can just put some shoes on, go for a walk, and drink water.
I do.
Month, you'll be fine.
I do CrossFit, and he's the one who recommended it because he was like,
yeah, he's not a doctor.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck. I don't give
but
a fuck.
Dude, before I did Uber, I tried Lyft, and here's the reason why I never went back to Lyft, because of my first ride.
Yeah,
I went to fucking Wrigleyville.
Oh no,
and you know how it is over there. It's just
it's just wild.
Polo wearing white boys, Cubs fans, you know,
cargo shorts.
Yeah. And like it was my first ride, and it said like, oh, you're picking up 4 people, because I had a fucking, you know, it's a Prius. And you know how like at the end of certain side streets, they got the whole corner painted yellow for the fire hydrant. I parked right there. 4 guys hop in. I didn't know there was a 5th guy. I'm like, all right, well, let's get going. He's tying his shoe behind my car. And I fucking hit him.
That's hilarious.
Like 5 miles an hour. And then I was like, oh shit, I gotta drop him off.
Well, what was he doing behind the car? Was tying his shoes, dumbass.
I know, right? Like
what the fuck you think might happen?
But I was like, I gotta drop them off before they sober up and realize I fucking hit their buddy. And then like right after, I deleted the app and I never went on it because I was like, there's some kind of like, you know.
Well, you don't know. If you didn't get an email saying that someone reported you for something, then you're fine.
Yeah.
I had at Lollapalooza, I picked up a group of 4 on the corner of Michigan and like Randolph, and they get in. The girl's the last one. I hear the doors close. But apparently she didn't close her door.
Yeah.
And I just took my foot off the brake.
Yeah.
And we like started moving forward, but she like almost twisted her ankle and got real bitchy real fast. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I was like, I thought everybody closed the door. She's like, no, you almost broke my leg. And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't. That's all I said. I was like, yeah, but I didn't.
Yeah.
You know, like at the end of the day, like I didn't. So what are you mad at? Are you hurt? No.
Yeah.
Are you just scared? It's like, cause I hit the brake right away once I found out, but like that split second, it ruined the ride.
Yeah.
The fucking vibe was weird. We were just in there and she was just huffing and puffing and her friends didn't know what to do. Yeah. And I was trying to just like alleviate it. And I'm like, yeah, everything's going to be all right, honey bun.
Yeah.
It did not work.
So it's because I want to get the fuck off of Uber, but the craziest shit that happened to me with Uber, I don't give a, I said this on Derek's thing, but I don't give a fuck. This is my podcast. Like so do you remember a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, there was that one black officer. It was a chick. It was like a tragedy. Like she grew up in the hood, then she became a cop, and then she was 2 weeks away from becoming a detective, like getting a master's. And some gang member that she arrested went to school with her, so they knew where she lived and they gunned her down.
Oh wow!
Do you remember that shit? No.
Briefly.
So like I used to just always do rides in the hood because like some of them the link card pays for it. Yeah. So they didn't give a fuck about what they and nobody wanted to do those rides. So you'd be busy all fucking day.
Yeah.
So I'd be like in Brownsville and Inglewood. Yeah. And so I was there one day and I was trying that carnivore shit because dude, I've tried everything: keto, carnivore, paleo, Atkins, like all that, and I was so backed up. And then I heard that they were having her funeral that day. Right. So there was like a 3-mile stretch of every cop. Yeah. And now I'm stuck in the hood. Like I can't I just got to be there. I'm like, you know what, dude? I'll just go to the bathroom. So I go to this Shell station. And that was my biggest pet peeve. Like as an Uber driver, you go somewhere and you're like, yo, can I use the bathroom? Out of order. I'm like, well, I almost want to be like, well, where the fuck do you go, bro?
Yeah.
And the owner, he goes, we go back there. I'm like, I gotta go number 2. He goes, I just said we go back there. Ain't no cops here. I ain't gonna tell you. Go do your thing. And I was like, this guy's full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back there. There's like an area like double the size of his basement, just landmines of shit. They're just shitting in this fucking patch of grass. Like it looked like a behind the scenes of Braveheart. They just squat down. And I almost wanted to go, but I was like, I broke my ankles in jiu-jitsu. I'm like, dude, I'm going to roll an ankle sliding in someone else's shit.
Yeah, never.
So fuck that.
Never. Yeah. I mean, I pulled into a gas station on like 31st and Lake. This is when I started.
Yeah.
And I walked in and it smelled like absolute shit in there. Like really bad. And I had to pee so bad. This is before I knew I could just pee anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I just pull into an alley. I was trying to do the right thing. And I go in there and it smelled so bad. And the guy came out of the bathroom and he's like, "What's up?" And I was like, "Nothing." I was like, "Nothing, dude."
Yeah.
I had to get out of there. I was like,
I am in awe, sir.
Yeah,
That's what
like,
it is.
This is fucking and it was a hot day. I was like, "Oh, this is
oh
wretched.
God, yeah.
This is wretched."
That's like a porta potty at a festival, you know.
I had one couple. This is my last story, I guess. This was fun. We were driving. It was late night.
Yeah.
I think it was Lala too. It was like that festival summer vibes. And it's a girl and a guy, and they're making out in the back, and she's all over him, and he's trying to be cool. He's like, "Nah, chill, nah, chill." And then she like, I hear zipping, and I'm like, "Hell yeah!" And she's like, "Let me suck your dick. Let me suck your dick." He's like, "Nah, chill, nah, chill." And I'm in the front. I'm like, "Let her suck your dick." Like, let her suck your dick.
Yeah,
dog.
yeah.
What are we doing, bro? Let's go.
Yeah.
That was a fun ride.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I don't mind it. I don't engage with anyone. Last night there was one or two passengers that were talking because everyone's got a little booze in them.
Yeah.
They want to know more about you. But I try to keep the conversation to a minimum. I had a group of college kids. They get in, and they're like, "Can we play music?" And I looked at them. I was like, "We already got music." And I just turned the volume up on the radio.
Yeah.
And this one kid's like, no, but you got like the aux? And I was like, no aux.
Yeah.
No aux. And then they got weird silent, and then they had their own conversation. But I'm like, I don't trust your musical judgment.
Dude, I didn't even know fucking people did that shit.
Yeah, you can do it.
Were you going to and you asked them to put your no?
Yeah, no, I don't allow anybody to play music through my phone, through my car at all. Period.
Yeah.
Period. I'm a music like I've been called kind of like very picky, you know.
Yeah.
Some people think that I am arrogant. I was like,
I'm real picky too, bro. I don't even like. My Bluetooth works on and off, thank God, in my car, because I still got a scroll iPod. I'm like, we're playing. You can play whatever you want that's on here, you know, like that's it. But I forgot that's funny is the only reason why I knew I was like in Inglewood or Bronzeville is because at the time I was watching that Surviving R. Kelly. It said like that's where he used to
pick
linger.
Him up.
Yeah.
You pick them up.
I was like, oh fuck, this is where I'm at.
Yeah. Oh my God. But nah, I do it for the money. It's not great money.
Yeah.
It can be if you do it consistently, but I don't like sitting that long. I wear like a back brace to make sure my core is engaged.
Yeah. No, dude, when I did that shit, it was fucking awful.
Yeah.
Like right now I work at a carpet shop where I'm literally carrying carpets like all day, and then I go to CrossFit.
Oh, you're fucking your shit up.
Yeah.
I would.
I just got like it's called like athlete's flu, where you fucking do too much at once.
Yeah.
Because I had these old I had these old ladies fucking me up with these box jumps. I'm like, I'm not gonna be the worst guy here. So I hadn't done it in a month because I got sick as fuck. I got RSV. That's the Ozempic that fucked me up.
What?
Because when I used to work out, I would fucking like eat everything I burnt off. You know, I'd eat steaks, eggs, salad. I mean, I would.
Yeah, but all those things are meant to be burned off.
Yeah. It was all healthy food, but I mean, like I used to have all that room. Then when I started, I take Zepbound, which is better, but now I can only fit like one meal a day.
Yeah.
So if that one meal is like carb heavy, your fucking immune system's going down because it's got no nutrients.
Well, it depends. It depends. Like, what's your source of carbs? Is it quinoa or is it cookies?
It's like
Exactly.
Ezekiel bread.
All right.
So
Yeah.
that's what I try to.
I mean, I'm still I'm in on a 24+ hour fast right now.
Yeah.
I haven't eaten since noon yesterday.
But you still drink, right? Like
I drink coffee.
Yeah.
Black coffee.
Yeah.
No sugar.
Yeah.
And I do it when you drive. It's so easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy. I have the Zins, I have gum, I have my vape, and I'm chill. And if I get hungry, I drink coffee.
Mm.
So one thing on the weekends when I'm at least driving, I'm like, well, I'm fasting.
Yeah.
So hopefully by Sunday night, I give me like a nice, real good meal. I have a walking pad. So when I'm editing videos or doing apartment shit in my house, I'm putting in like 2-3 miles of walking.
Yeah.
And then I have these push-up things next to me. So I'll do at least 100 push-ups like every day, every other day.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to be an athlete. I was an athlete my entire life. I know what it is to get up at 5:30, go to the gym, go to the pool. I was a swimmer. But I'm not trying to be like that guy. I'm just trying to stay lean and be like as healthy as possible, but not necessarily as fit as possible. But I do want to be healthy.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm saying like the Ozempic. You said you could try carnivore and all these things and it didn't work. I have to look exactly at what you ate, when you ate, and tell you what went wrong. Because it's definitely not the diet. It's what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a doctor tell me that too, though. It was because you know what it is my I got put on a bunch of meds, and they fucked up my metabolism.
Meds will do that to you.
Because
meds will do that to you.
Because I don't know if I ever told you. I mean, I mention this all the time. 2020, 5 of my family members died all in 1 year. My whole fucking family's gone.
That sucks. I'm sorry.
And it's all good. It's just like my wife was like, "You gotta I'm scared about you."
Yeah, no.
She hid the gun. Then we forgot. Then we forgot where it was.
Oh God.
But she's like, I think you need like something. Whether with SSRI or something, you know.
Sure.
And bro, I got put on 8 different things in a year.
You know what you need?
And
you know what you could have used?
What?
Mushrooms.
I microdosed during the time.
Get you a fucking God dose.
A God dose, dude.
A God dose.
I don't think I would come back, man.
Every time I've lost a family member, like a close one,
yeah,
I waited a few months.
Yeah.
Where I feel a little more clear, and then I fucking take a God dose.
Yeah.
And then I grieve it out. And I feel so much better.
Yeah.
I really heal some fucking.
Well, you know what finally helped me is I just did EMDR, the hypnosis.
Hypnosis, I didn't hear.
That fucking cured me, man.
Yeah, I hear a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, dude.
I just go with what God gave me.
Yeah.
You know, God gave me mushrooms, and I'm like, I like to trip balls.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know what you mean.
I got mushrooms on me right now. Always.
That you know what it is though is when I stopped there was a little bit of a calm down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it felt like, but you know what? I always start this off. I go like, is there anything wild that's happened to you in the past 2-3 weeks that you want to share?
Wild?
Any wild shit? Any fucked up shit? Because I'm always on some shit. I'm a magnet for drama.
I could tell.
Yeah, man.
You're a big dude. You got a big gravitational pull.
Yeah, dude.
Do people be starting shit with you just because you're big?
You know, I had that when I was a kid.
Yeah, as a kid, right?
As a kid. Like, it was like the first, like, maybe, like, whatever, 4 grades. They're like, don't fuck with that guy. He's big. And then, like, once you hit, like, 5th grade, everybody's like, let's fuck with him because he's big. He's a gentle giant, you know?
Yeah.
But, and it was funny. I did send the kid to the ER because he was picking on me so much that, you know how you remember that trick people used to do? Like I'm 37. How old are you? 40. So like you remember people used to go, if your hand's bigger than your face, you got cancer, and they used to do that shit with your chest.
Oh.
And I punched this kid right here because I forgot what he even had. He was just, dude, we're in 5th grade and this guy's like, hey Phil, do you remember what your mom's pussy looked like?
Wow.
I mean, like in 5th grade.
Knock you out, son.
You know, like it. And I didn't know he had asthma. So they had like an ambulance come and everything, and he never fucked with me again.
Fucked with the asthma kid. That's crazy.
Yeah. but
No, nothing wild happened to me in the last 2-3 weeks. I don't have a wild life in Chicago. I have a wild life in Mexico. I go there every year for like a month or two.
dude, I was gonna say, yeah, like I always see you, like
Yeah,
you're traveling a lot.
I travel. That's one of the reasons I have credit card debt is because I like I like going to Mexico and
Yeah.
fucking getting stupid.
Like what? What's the worst shit? What
it's
kind
not
of drama?
bad. I mean, I like my drugs and my jungle raves.
Yeah,
I like seeing DJs play fucking dope ass music at 3 a.m.
yeah,
and wait until the sun comes up and having my sunglasses on the whole time and making random friends with people and just listening to great music. And yeah, Mexico provides like such a good vibe. I go to Tulum, I go to Playa del Carmen, I go to Puerto Escondido in Oaxaca.
you're half Mexican and half Puerto Rican,
Yes,
right?
sir.
You like Mexico better than Puerto Rico?
For traveling, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Puerto Rico has its gems, but Puerto Rico has problems.
yeah,
I mean, Puerto Rico is like you have San Juan, which is the main city, and then you have like little towns. You have Mayagüez, Rincon, Ponce, Fajardo, and like those places are nice, but they don't really offer you much of like. Yeah, you can do nature stuff. You can go like to the jungle. There's waterfalls and there's cool beach shit.
yeah.
But I mean, I also want to like rage.
Yeah.
I also want to do fucking drugs and listen to DJs from around the world that go there and like do a bunch of cool stuff. And not saying that Puerto Rico doesn't have it, but for the price,
Yeah,
I'm going to Mexico.
yeah.
Puerto Rico's expensive. It just it's they use dollars.
Yeah,
And I'm like, for the same amount of money I'd spend in 1.5 weeks in Puerto Rico, I could spend a month and a half in Mexico.
yeah.
It's pretty simple.
My brother right now, he's got like his best friend is a white dude. He's a Marine, and he's about to marry a Mexican girl who is from Zacatecas.
Okay.
And I guess they were saying that that's like one of the shadiest areas.
Mhm.
So my brother's like, I'm not going down there alone. He's like, I'm a little
Your
chubby
brother-
white nerd. Like,
Your brother lives in the movies too much.
you think that is?
All Americans do.
Yeah.
All Americans live in this fucking like Mexico super dangerous. Is it dangerous? Is Chicago dangerous? Because I'm pretty sure there's more gun murders in Chicago than there is in Zacatecas. Like,
I don't know.
but-
I honestly don't know.
but the rule is don't fuck with me. I won't fuck with you.
Yeah.
So if you go down there looking for trouble,
Mhm.
you'll find it.
Yeah.
But if you're just a regular white dude who's going down for a wedding, go
Yeah.
enjoy your fucking friend's wedding, you dumbass.
Yeah.
You know, like life isn't a fucking a movie like that. Every time I bring a girl down there, her fucking parents are the same. They're like, it's dangerous. They're gonna kidnap you. Da, da, da. And I'm like, I'm so glad your parents aren't coming. Yeah,
yeah, dude.
I'm like, cause we're about to have.
'Cause I'm about to kidnap
I'm
you.
like, yeah,
So,
I'm
like-
about to fucking sell your kidneys, bitch. But like, don't start no shit, won't be no shit. And Mexico, for the most part, you're protected because you're a tourist.
Yeah.
And the last thing that they want to do is fuck with their tourist money.
Yeah.
The tourist money is part of the cartel business too.
Yeah.
And so if they all of a sudden, like, the U.S. is like, don't go to Mexico, and that affects their bottom
income,
line,
yeah.
that's not good for business.
Yeah.
That's not good for business at all. The only ones I would say watch out for are the cops. Like, unless your brother's a degenerate that's looking for blow and hookers at 2 a.m,
Yeah.
you know, because that's when the cops will stop a white guy
Yeah. Yeah.
for him come up with fake fucking reasons to arrest him.
Yeah.
And then they'll take you to the ATM and you got to give them $100.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the
Yeah.
end of that. You know.
Yeah. I think it's just a general, like, any American who hasn't been out of the country, they're just afraid of
Yeah,
whatever.
So almost
you know?
all of you.
Yeah. Yeah, because
You're from Poland.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I was born in Chicago, but I didn't learn that I was English till I was like 12.
Yeah.
I lived in a fucking apartment
Yeah.
full of refugees. Like,
yeah.
and but
I mean, I like this place, but I do think Americans miss out on the world because America has everything to
Yeah.
be fair.
but you know what it is though. It's like so like this is I think it's just like people are scared of different rules.
Of course.
Like that motherfucker who he went to North Korea. He stole a poster and ended
Oh,
up in
yeah.
a coma. You know.
And then he died.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because like so okay, like in Poland, right? they have like a higher standard of respect than America does for like history.
Yeah, of course.
So like you go to a museum here in Chicago, every gangbanger is scratching their tag in with their diamond ring in the glass and
shit like that.
In Poland, everything is out in the open,
Yeah.
and if you touch anything, they will beat the fuck out of you. You know, like
you homogenized your culture. Everyone bought into what being Polish is.
yeah,
You have a common enemy, Russia.
yeah,
And you guys, and I mean, Poland right now is doing some pretty wild, outstanding things.
I don't even know.
They're not letting in any single refugees.
Yeah,
And the president's being dragged in the EU for being racist or Islamophobist.
yeah,
And he's just like, how many terrorist attacks have we had? 0. He's like, how many this? 0. They're like, but you let Ukrainians in, and he goes, yeah, they're Christian. No, it's fucking fire. He's like, we share values. Is what that was. No, Poland's doing a whole thing right now.
Yeah,
But if I invite you to Mexico and your first thought is it's dangerous, I don't think I want to go, then you're not the type of person that I want with me there.
yeah.
You know
I know what you
saying?
mean because like when you travel, you want to go on a fucking adventure.
Yeah, I'm an adventure guy. We're gonna be on the backs of trucks.
Yeah,
we're gonna be taking long boat rides to the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, dude.
And just get bug spray and make sure your phone and your speakers charged, and we're gonna have a great ass time.
Yeah.
Also, if you're with me, I know the rules.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know the rules.
No, I think that's what bonded me and my wife.
Yeah.
Is like we're always just looking to do some crazy shit.
Yeah.
What's gonna be a fucking fun story later on? Because we did, like I got in a fight with my friends. We went to Amsterdam a few years ago, and I wasn't that pumped just because I'm like, okay, everybody goes here for hookers and drugs.
Yeah.
We got that in America. Like,
Yeah.
but I went there, and honestly, it was kind of just like a boring ass white country. I would not go again.
I mean, I thought Amsterdam was. Well, here's the thing. I bought mushrooms, so I was tripping balls. Like, I was on the walking tours, just gnarly balls.
Yeah.
And those tiny little skinny buildings looked like they were all leaning in.
Yeah.
And trying to like jump into the river.
Yeah.
It was a fun time. But yeah, if you're a European and you want like a quick escape, you go to Amsterdam and get nuts.
Yeah.
But like they're like, do you want to go to the Anne Frank house? And I'm like, is she there?
Yeah.
And they're like, no. I was like, then no. I'm like, is it just a house then? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. However, the Van Gogh Museum,
Yeah.
best fucking museum in the world, at least art museum.
Yeah.
The Van Gogh Museum, bro, I was perfectly high. I had bought the audio tour because I like doing that shit. And then that was one of the most amazing experiences of art I've ever had.
Dude, we fucked up because
you did.
We went and it was sold out 4 months ahead. That's how like huge it is.
Man,
Whatever.
I went 2017.
Yeah.
And I just picked a random day. I was there for like 2 weeks because my cousin came to visit me. So him and I kicked it for like a few days.
Yeah.
And when he left, I just went. I got my weed, and I went to the fucking line, and they had tickets. And I got in the line, and I was like, I'm gonna do this right now.
No, dude, they told us like so this is a whole fucking, this should be a whole comedy movie. I went there with my friend who's blind, and and 2 weeks before the fucking trip, he had a stroke.
What?
And he was like 26
Was he
because
on-
he eats like shit. He eats like shit,
Yeah.
and that's what I was getting at. It was when we were there. I'm like, man, I want to fucking know what it's like to be Dutch. Like, let's fucking eat some pink herring, sip some coffee with our pinkies up, ride around on a Vespa, And this guy wants to go to McDonald's every 5 minutes, Like,
no.
But here's what was funny is that we went to that Van Gogh. They're like, yeah, we're sold out 4 months, but there's a museum over there, like across the street. It reminded me of like in Wayne's World when in the second one when there's the church across the street. But we just like go across, and dude, it was the Modern Art Museum. It was awful. It was fucking awful.
Actually, I did go there.
I did not.
I went there the same day I went to the Van Gogh because there was a Banksy Warhol exhibit.
Okay.
And I bought tickets to both, to the Van Gogh and the Banksy Warhol one at the Modern Art. And I remember going across. That's fun.
I did not.
You did not have a good time. Nah,
I mean, it was. You know why it was funny? Because we went in there.
Because with your blind dumbass friend.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here's what's funny.
Get to an art museum with your blind friend.
And here's what's fun is like we're there. I'm okay. I'll be honest. Like I've been a musician for 15 years. Like I have art in me. I'm doing comedy, But as far as like anything like with paintings go, I like that old, like the shit on the Vatican ceiling, like old gods and stuff, like this stuff,
Yeah. And classical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when we're in this modern art thing, my blind friend told me, he's like, tell me what we're looking at.
Oh God.
So I'm sitting there and there's all these like really like sensitive artists next to me. I'm like,
no.
Well, there's a broomstick.
Yeah, there's a fucking tire.
Tied to a fucking toilet. And this is called All Men Are Trash. And it's worth $1 million.
Yeah.
And like the people next to me, they're like, it's so much more than that.
Oh, no. Is it? Then you tell me about it,
yeah,
dumb
yeah.
motherfucker.
So that's why that was. You know what I did fucking love, though? Did you go to, do you remember Body Works? You know what that shit is?
Oh, yeah, with the bodies.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, that's fucking cool. Where they're like, this is a guy who's been smoking for 60 years.
Yeah. It's fun until you realize those were all Chinese prisoners that didn't sign to do it. They're stolen bodies.
Yeah,
is what they are. It's fucking crazy, but shout out to the CCP.
Yeah. Because they don't report a work death until it hits 21. Do you know that?
Oh, it's just like God.
So they're just like, oh, you're just. I guess your husband's cheating on you. You never came home. You know, like.
Well, I mean, shout out to the CCP. Hey! Fucking crazy over there.
So I was gonna say like some wild shit. I did this show in Missouri, right?
All right, how'd that go,
bro? Like we're gonna get booked again. We did really fucking well.
Mm-hmm.
But everything about it was unorganized as fuck. But here's where it went wrong, and I'm not even gonna mention the name because I don't want to start shit. But what happened is like I talked to the booker and I'm like, yo, do you guys got? I'm trying to be a professional. I'm like, do you have any rules? He's like, what do you mean? I go, well, I see a lot of churches, it's fucking,
Yeah. What can we say? What can we not say?
Yeah. And he goes, oh, this is Trump's America. Say whatever the fuck you want.
I like that.
And then what happened is there was, you ever go to Mojo's in Joliet? Dude, this was like a Xerox copy of Mojo's where the whole top floor was like one of those like buy a burger for $70 places with the hanging light bulbs,
Oh, wow.
And then in the basement is a speakeasy.
Yeah.
That's where we had the show. So you could fit like 100 people. We sold it to like 60 maybe.
Word.
But there was a whole fucking table of drunk bridesmaids like doing their brides thing, like 6 of them. And I'm like as a comedian, I've talked to other people that are like 10 years in. They're like, dude, Phil, you literally handled it like the most professional comedian. What happened? Because they were. I'm not exaggerating. Mm-hmm. I've seen people like, they talked during my set. They talked from start to finish. Oof. Literally, like my opening line is like, I don't even give a fuck about like people who don't want to share their material. I do like a whole 5 minutes of self-deprecate. I'm like, hey, I know what you guys are thinking. What is a Ninja Turtle villain doing comedy? There's not much like Shredder. And as soon as I said that, yeah, Darlene, did you hear? Yeah, do you remember we used to watch Ninja Turtles? Jessica, did you hear that? Yeah, he does look every fucking joke.
I would have pulled out my wiener.
Dude,
and been like, this show's over,
dude. Every fucking joke. Like, here's what's funny. So I went down there with Ruben B. He's a newer comedian, and then my buddy Brian Miklas. Ruben's like
shout out, Brian. 9
months in. Yeah. And he was supposed to we were all supposed to do 12 minutes. Ruben did like 7 and then he pulled out because he's like, you can't concentrate with this, like with them talking. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't even concentrate. So then Brian goes up. I think he was supposed to do 12. He did like 7 and then like 10 minutes of crowd work. I go up there. my fucking ADD is so. And then in the middle of my set, a jackhammer is going off on the second floor.
Oh, Missouri, shout out.
So then I go. I was supposed to do 12 minutes. I did 5 material, and then I did 30 minutes
Nice.
of leaning into them.
Yeah, fucking with them. Yeah.
Because in my head, I'm like,
did you have fun? Was it funny?
oh, fuck yeah. Everybody was fucking like the bookers were laughing. See, that's the thing that kind of irked me was like, bro, if that goes on for 3 minutes, you're supposed to fucking kick them out because everybody else paid for a ticket. They're pissed off, but
did they pay for a ticket? Those bridesmaids?
Yeah, everybody. But I'm saying like everybody else.
Yeah.
So like out of those 60 people, those 6 are fucking making it about them. You know.
Of course, they're women.
So yeah. So long story here. So I get back and we got the news that like, oh, you guys did fucking awesome. We're definitely gonna have you on another show. 3 days go by. Oh, you know what? Actually, after further examination, I talked to the owner. He said somebody told one of them to shut the fuck up and called her a bitch. Here's what happened, and I want to mention. I want to tell you this to see if you think I handled this right. So, I go, hey, I hear someone's getting married here. She goes, yeah, right here, right. And then her friend goes, not me. I'm a lesbian. And I go, you know what? I think I'm beating the lesbian game with this haircut more than you. She's like, no. What else do you do? And I'm just like, well, my favorite position is scissoring, and I work at a carpet shop, so I get more rug than you.
There you go.
And so whatever. Like I'm saying that, and she goes, then she screams, it's guys like you the reason why I became a lesbian. I'm like, hey, you know what? Some women, they don't like this little white hyena penis, but my wife thinks it's husband material.
Yeah.
As I said that, 3 young girls come in. They must have like just hit 21, and the only table that's open is right in front. So they're all like naive and giggly, like, oh, we don't want to sit in front. You're gonna like roast us. I'm like, no, come right down. We are just talking about how you become a lesbian because of hyena penis. Let's go into this. So I try to talk to them. And I'm like, hey, where are you guys coming from? What are you doing? They go, we can't talk because of the people behind us. And I go, and like at that moment, because of the bridesmaids yelling off. At that moment, like say whatever, that corner was the stage. I just walk up straight I go, no, you mean the entire fucking show? There's 45 minutes of some broads that won't shut the fuck up the entire news to me, and like everyone is laughing besides them. And then the one lady goes, did you just call me a bitch? I go, well, I called you bridesmaids, bitch. And then she goes, oh, you just called me. I go, no, I was talking about the lady behind you.
Yeah, you're a bitch. How about that?
I was no. I go. I was just talking about the lady behind you that's dressed exactly like you, sounds exactly like you. And then she turned around, and the whole fucking crowd like started because she fell for it. That's what she got mad at. I'm like, dude, I don't think that handled that wrong.
I don't think the owner knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't think the producers knew what they were doing.
So
and
I kind of half bitched him out, and he's like, dude,
but you're allowed. If I'm if I'm producing this show and there's Rudy customers, even though they paid, and the comic has to address it and is bantering with them in order to entertain, because you're getting paid to entertain.
Yeah.
And this is comedy. This is the rule of comedies. We can kind of like close that door and say we can say whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
And it's understood. It's a social contract. The fact that they bitched, the owner, because he probably doesn't have comics that, one, do that. Or comics in general, the real ones, go through there and put on a show.
Yeah.
I don't know if you handled it right or wrong. Again, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But my ultimate feeling of it is, if you're being so rowdy that it's ruining the show, that the only way to make this a thing, if the producer's not kicking you out, is to address you, and now you're the thing, but at least people are laughing and it's something.
Yeah.
Fine. So no one was right. You shouldn't have had to deviate from your material so much. You shouldn't have had to address them so much.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have been allowed to talk that much. All the other comics are pussies. You walked off a 7 minutes out of a 12-minute, you fucking pussy. You sit up there and you eat that dick. You eat that dick or you give that dick to those fucking girls. But you got paid to do your fucking time. You do your goddamn time.
Yeah.
That's being a fucking comic. 2.
Well, you know, the booker, he said like you could do 7. He didn't even give us a set time. That's what was.
I wouldn't have driven to fucking Missouri.
Yeah.
For less than 15, 20.
Yeah.
And you're telling me you gave up because of some broads? You couldn't have gone in there with your fucking axe. You did, because you've learned.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't take it on the chin. Fuck, it's Missouri. Who cares? But also like tell the.
No, we got another show getting set up.
Okay, then
so
just tell the producers do your job. Is make sure everyone's seated in the front, quiet. Whoever hosts. Tell them, make sure everyone keep table talk to a minimum. It's a very simple phrase.
Yeah.
And if you violate this shit, we violate you.
Yeah.
Enjoy
That's
the
what
show.
I've always said. If you're gonna, I've always heard, if you are gonna talk, the comedian's gonna talk to you. That's like what I always hear.
You open that door
because
we do it.
Because in my mind, the moment that started going off, the first thing that came out, because I think it came out that week, that
roast?
Natalie Cuomo meltdown.
Oh, that was fun.
I'm like, I could either go that route. I drove all the way out here for this. I could go that route, or I could lean into it.
You're a comic.
Yeah.
You be funny.
Yeah.
That whole Natalie Cuomo, that whole posturing.
Yeah.
And then here's what I don't like with these like more celebrity than funny comics.
Yeah.
Because they're internet famous and they can pull numbers,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just surrounded by their own audience, which is fine. You make money, but in those scenarios, the comic has to show up.
Yeah.
You have to be. I have to justify. You have to justify in my eyes why you're selling out places.
Yeah.
Because you have skills, you have talent, you have wit, you have ability to just take a fucking scenario and flip it on its head. And if you're going to sit there and just start doing this whole, but I did this and look at me in the eyes and make it weird for everyone.
Yeah.
Because it's not funny.
Yeah.
Then it's just like, bro.
Yeah.
I thought you were a comic. You seemed like you took that shit personal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I don't do crowd shit like that. People usually talk and I'll just be like, hey, shut the fuck up. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
And last night people were talking, comics were talking in the back, and I was like, psst, hey.
Yeah.
And then they looked
That's
at
all
me,
it takes.
and that was it. And I'm like, let me get back to my thing because I have a thing. I'm filming like this whole thing. I don't have time for this.
So are you saying you're talking trash about Natalie Cuomo right now?
I'm not saying I'm talking trash.
I know. I'm just kidding.
I think you can't get in your fucking feelings like so easily.
Yeah.
And then expect people to respect women.
Yeah, dude.
That's not how that happens. You know what I'm saying? You can't justify how they feel.
You know what's making me laugh is like if that's her genuine, like that's her person of like where she just melts down. Imagine what she's going through now reading any comments. You know?
She's probably not. I followed her afterwards because I'm like, let me at least keep tabs on this bitch. You know?
Yeah.
Just to see. And she's pushed through, and she probably had a day. We've all had a day.
Yeah.
We've all had a day. But I've never had
Michael Richards, you know.
Sure, but he's not a real comic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's celebrity.
Yeah.
And these motherfuckers.
I don't think he was ever funny. He played the same fucking character in everything he was in.
Everything he was. I mean,
and it wasn't even. It's not even. It wasn't even like what's it called? Like, you know, like now it's more focused. It's like you're a wordsmith.
Yeah.
The wittiness.
Yeah.
He's like trying to be the Three Stooges in the '90s.
well,
just like Chevy Chase.
Also, how embarrassing is it got to be that the show's over, that you were on, that was a hit, and you got to go to Laugh Factory, where the guy that gave you the job, that paid your life, is painted on the wall. And you got to go in and do your 10 minutes and you get heckled by black people and you lose your fucking mind.
Yeah.
And because he's not a comic.
Yeah.
Is she a comic? Probably a comedian to a certain degree, but I'm talking comic in like this, like, give me a mic, give me a room,
There's
give
a
me
code.
people.
There's a code.
I can do something here. I can cook. It's like a
Yeah.
chef.
Yeah.
Right? If you throw a chef in like a random kitchen and just be like, make something, and he just got to go through everything.
Yeah.
I'll be like, all right, we got some rice, we got some fucking salt, we got this, we got that. Like, that's when I'm like, that motherfucker is a chef.
Yeah.
He's not just a cook. who's on the line, who knows how to put the fucking carrots on the thing. Oh, you know how to get to your punchline. Okay, but not everything's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
You got to get in there and cook.
And you might fucking bomb even though you are a good comic. Like, it's like...
And it happens to... And you should... I was just telling this to a young comic. I'm like, you're funny. I'm like, but you do the same bit at the open mics. And I saw him at a show, and the bits are polished, and they're fucking great. And I laughed my ass off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you're wasting your own time.
Yeah.
I'm like, go to open mics and bomb.
You want to name?
Nah.
No.
Nah, it's not even bad because he's a great comic. He's going to be, I think he's going to be
That's why
a
I
great
wasn't
comic.
sure if you wanted to plug him or not, you know.
Yeah, Xavier.
Yeah.
Xavier. He goes to a lot of mics. He's from Indiana.
Smith?
Yeah.
He's fucking awesome.
He's
dude.
amazing.
That was, I just did Ronnie Ray's.
Yeah.
It was him, Ronnie, Rob Mayfield, Kat Diaz, and me.
Yeah.
And I never had a fucking, like that. The room was full.
Yeah.
Like they had to make seats for. I never had a show like that roaring with laughter. It was fucking great.
He did the show last night. I was at the O'Donnell's.
Yeah.
He went up like second. Then he had to leave to go to the bit.
I saw that. Do you run that?
I
right?
run an open mic on Tuesdays there.
Who runs the show?
Amy Simon.
Oh, okay.
She runs the Gauntlet.
Yeah.
And then she's doing a Saturday show, and she's got some other projects.
Yeah.
Shout out Amy. But he got on stage. He was late because he was driving from Indiana. He got on stage, and he ripped. Dude. I was like, fuck yeah. And then I was like, but this is the shit he does at the mics, too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's polished, but there's not a word that's kind of changed much.
Yeah.
And then he like kind of Legos it and puts it into a 10-minute because, you usually only get 4 at a mic or whatever.
Yeah.
But today we were talking, and I was like, those bits are done. And if they're not done, then like shelf them for a few months until like something really.
Yeah. How many years is he in?
Probably like 1 or 2. He's fucking new.
I think I saw him when I started, and this month's my 3rd year.
Nice.
So
well, yeah, he's definitely
he's got to be at least 4. No, I don't know.
I would assume. I don't know. I've seen people come in with less than a year be absolutely stellar, and I've seen like me, it's taken me to like this long to feel comfortable on stage to get laughs.
Yeah, you know what, dude? I'm realizing, like, because I always ask that question on the pod, like, oh, how many years? It doesn't even fucking matter.
No, it doesn't.
It's like
it's a marathon.
You,
not a
you
race.
pop out of your cocoon when you.
But that's the other thing is back to the celebrity people, the ones that have TikTok followers that can sell out zanies because of their following.
Yeah,
you can entertain me for like 15 seconds. But you gotta have 45 minutes.
Yeah.
To fucking justify me spending my night, my money to go see you. And now because people are dumb, they're like, I don't care if they weren't that funny. I just wanted to see them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but as a purist, I want the jokes to be sharp, and you should be at open mics trying new shit, in my opinion, the majority of time. People are afraid of bombing and silence.
Yeah.
And I'm like, once you hit year 4, year 5, for me, it was just like, I don't give a fuck about making the open mic because I wasn't getting booked, so that was my validation.
Yeah.
And so I told Xavier, I was like, them jokes are done. You're driving from Indiana, and you got to get up there and bomb. I'm like, or you add new characters or he's got this uncle nephew joke that is fantastic.
Yeah.
I was like, put your uncle in different scenarios. I'm like, because the scenarios you got him are good. I'm like, but you've only used those 2. And like, I've seen him at open mics for like the last 6 to 8 months. And it's the same like rotation of jokes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do yourself a favor. Go bomb.
Yeah.
Go bomb. Go come up with something completely different. I got dude, I'm on my like 12th notebook.
Yeah, dude.
12th or 13th notebook.
I actually, personally, I got to slow down because I have 2 notebooks, and it's all like, you know how they say, like, don't be a fucking...
I got 3 in my backpack right now.
But it's like, you know how they say, don't be a jack of all trades, be a fucking master of one thing. Like, I have all these premises that are like,
you're in premise land.
Mid. They're mid, and I need to polish them up. You
No,
know?
you need to find the new air angle. What are you trying to get to? I'm at the point where it's not necessarily the premise. It's like, how are you wording what you're trying to say? Because it's not the premise. If for one reason or another works or made you laugh or thought it was interesting. the second phase of your development, because obviously you get into the mic scene, you don't know what to do, you have whatever you've written, and then you end up loading premises.
Yeah.
Because you're still almost afraid to dive into it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, that's what it. But like now, dive into it. It's like, what's funny about your friend, your blind friend going to a modern art museum?
Yeah.
That's a very funny concept.
Yeah.
And it's a joke that can work, but you don't have your own voice or the talent or the time or to have built up the talent to see it for all the angles around.
Well, you know what it is? Here's what I'm saying. I fucking, dude, I mentioned this before, but I'll mention it, like, this is fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the reasons this all makes sense after I explain it, but one of the reasons why I went into fucking EMDR, hypnosis, I used to get severe panic attacks, and they had to like zero it down. They're like, when does it happen? What are you thinking of? And I remember it was like every day around like 10:30. And I was like, yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, what the
yeah, what is that?
I was like, why the fuck is that happening? And I remembered, because here's what happened is, like, around the time my whole family died off, I got accepted into the welders union.
Yeah, nice.
So it was like, if you looked at my fucking like my life or my happiness as like a stock market, it was like, oh, all these motherfuckers died, and then, oh shit, you've been testing for this for 10 fucking years, and they just accepted you, and then I got in, and they were all pieces of shit. I made more money being a temp welder. They were all like these literally redneck. They just called me the N-word every day, just because I was the only person north of the union hall.
Sure.
So I remember, here's what's crazy. I used to hear this motherfucker's voice in my sleep. I remember I asked him, I was like, he told me I was doing something wrong, so he threw a fucking wrench at me, and then he goes, you can do shit the right way, the wrong way, or the way we do things here at local, whatever, 1, 2.
Okay.
And I remember hearing that shit, and like, it didn't affect me at the moment. I was like, fuck this guy, I'm gonna fucking put my nutsack on his desk, But then it affected my subconscious, so I would hear that shit in my sleep. So when I get to do the hypnosis to get that out of there, the way I test my anxiety was like coffee, because I'd be like, oh, if I don't have anxiety, I can drink coffee. I could have fucking 8 cups,
Yeah, which will bring your anxiety back.
Yeah, dude. So I ended up after the hypnosis, I went to work. It's fucking 10:30. I'm like, holy fuck, like I'm fine. And then like next day, I'm fine. Nothing's happened. It was cured. But I was like, I don't know what to do. So I just started writing premises. And so I kind of like indirectly hypnotized myself into writing premises that aren't finished. You know what I mean?
You got to get back there.
Yeah.
You got to pick one.
That's why my rule for this year is don't fucking write anything new. Like, don't write, like, just make that fucking, stone into a diamond,
Well, the write everything that comes to your mind.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when the next part of that idea or joke or concept will come up as you keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm building jokes. I'm in the middle of building a joke out by restructuring an old joke.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I like the bones of that joke, but I never liked how I got there, and there was no real payoff.
Yeah, dude.
And so it's kind of like taking the engine out of that car, but I have this other car that I just wrote, and it took me like 2 weeks to realize that they were like compatible.
Yeah.
And I just been doing it, and it's been ripping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so don't stop writing. But when you go to the mic, focus on what you were there to do, which is like maybe finish out this concept, this premise, and get to the punch. If no one's laughing at your punches, in that moment, do another one.
Yeah.
Do another one. Write down 3 different ways of your joke.
Also, I'm so fucking impatient. I have to stretch that shit out for a week. Because it'll be like, oh, I got this concept. It bombed at this mic. I'm never doing it again.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking
You're
stupid. Like,
dumb. When do you go to do mics?
My days are like Tuesday, I hit like 4 mics.
There you go.
So I usually do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Tuesday, Wednesday. So the day you have 4 mics,
Yeah.
you should pick one joke and challenge yourself to say it 4 different ways.
Yeah.
You're wasting your time.
Yeah.
If you're going up there trying a joke and it sucks and you don't want to try it ever again.
Yeah.
But there's a reason and maybe you come up with 2 other ones that you like more. Sure. But to get from the premise to a farther stretched out bit, it takes time, but you got to plow through those moments.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I had some dark jokes. It's taken me a while to even be comfortable at an open mic. It's about death. I have a whole thing about death too. Yeah. My family's all dead. Yeah, my sister just died. My dad died when I was 12. Like, I have this whole thing about death, but it's got to be it's almost like fugu, the blowfish in Japan. You got to cut around certain areas and not hit any nerve or not hit anything that'll kill you or kill the room, because I'm talking about some pretty serious shit. Yeah. But over time, it's just been building up to go from a premise to like now I have beats in it, where I'm like, okay, and I can present that not so much at a mic now, because at the mics I had to like really fucking like be patient with myself. Like, I don't know if this is gonna be funny, but I have to try. I have to keep going, even if it's not working at one mic. I have to go to the next mic and do it again. And I'm like,
yeah, you know what's funny? It happened to me recently where I don't do fucking well. Like, sometimes, you know, but like I'm at that point where I can at least do a 5 or 6 out of 10 at every fucking show. But I've done 2 shows recently where and I'm not talking about to like fucking whatever Mark Norman standards. I'm talking about like my standards. I judge like, you know what they say, don't fucking compare yourself to who you were yesterday. So it's just like, to me,
gotten better.
And and it's just like, when I see, I'm like, all right, the fucking room is roaring with laughter, I sneak one of those dark ones in, and dude, it's just funny as fuck. It destroys it.
I've done that so many times when you're on a heater. And you're like, cool, I'm gonna do one of my fucking riskier whatever jokes.
They look at you like you just jizzed on a baby. You know, like.
I got one recording where it's all quiet, and the guy goes, "You were doing so well."
Oh God, that's awesome.
And I was like, "Yeah, you miss the shots you don't take, bro." And it's a great joke. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
it's a timing joke, and if the room is with me, then the joke fires.
Yeah.
But if it's like, it's a very tricky joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, just keep at it. Your year 3, bro. My year 3, I wanted to quit every fucking mic.
Yeah.
I would bash my head into the steering wheel, because I'm like, why did I say that? I'm like, what am I not missing? And then I realized I was premising. Premising.
Yeah.
Then some comics would be like, that was another good premise, Tito. And then I'm like, oh, they're saying I don't have a punch to this.
Yeah.
I don't have an ending. What's the second half of this?
I literally had a fucking person tell me, I really liked your outfit up there.
Yeah.
They don't want to say, your set was shit,
I mean, but it's gonna be shit. You build to you have. Did you get better than last time?
Bro, but I love it though. Like, I will tell you, like, I was athletic as well as like too. I kind of like once I broke both ankles in jiu-jitsu. After that, I was like, I can't.
Shout out Logan Farr.
I can't. I was just like, I can't be fucking like having a labor job and limping in with a cast. But comedy got me back into like, made me want to do CrossFit because of the slow linear growth of like you see the results.
I was a swimmer. My sister was like state finalist when we were kids. She was a speeding bullet, and I was fat. My family didn't know about food. Mexican immigrant, like we ate nothing but rice and fried shit. So even though I was like swimming, I was still fat.
Yeah.
And I remember I started like around 6.
Yeah.
But I didn't get serious about it until like 9, 10.
Yeah.
Doing doubles and shit. And I didn't get good. My friends were state champions, national champions. I had a guy on the U.S. national team, the junior team. And I was just like, but then all of a sudden when I was 14, my body stretched out. And I lost the gut.
Yeah.
And I hit every practice. I was like, I can't. The only way I'm going to get better is if I go to more practices than all of them.
Yeah.
And for like 2 years, I didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
I didn't miss from 12 to 14. My sister would make fun of me. Dude, it was fucking crazy. I had like a huge like issue with it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden at 14, I go to state and I finaled in all my events. I got 5th in the 200 fly. And people were like, bro, what the fuck? And I'm like, all I had to do was go to practice.
Yeah.
And then around 15, 16, I started drinking Chicago shit. You know, like
Yeah.
I still became an athlete in college, but I like really deviated from where I was headed. But then when I started comedy, I was like, oh, this is swimming.
Yeah.
This is practice. Oh, I know. I used to get up at 5:30. This is at 6 p.m. at a bar with my friends. This is way easier.
Yeah.
This is way easier.
I was talking about that with Nick and Mecca about like you fucking like what you do in jujitsu and like how many times you get injured. Like you're fighting for your life here. How hard is comedy?
Comedy's not hard.
Yeah.
Comedy's not hard. And if you have discipline with anything in life, if you have discipline and you like, have you read the Comedy Bible?
I have not.
No.
I haven't even heard of it.
Exactly. Like you have to be looking for every angle to get better.
Yeah.
You should. I used to do improv and public speaking courses.
Mm-hmm.
Because I needed to, how do I hold my breath, bro? I was running out of breath on stage. I was too high energy. Anxiety, my nervousness.
Yeah.
Bro, I had to look up breathing exercises. Before I went up on CYSK, I was in the back. I did my stretches because I get tight in my back, so I know how to do that. And then I have a breathing exercise that I have to do for my heart rate.
Yeah.
Some Navy SEAL shit.
That's your routine before a show?
For a big show, yeah. I have to, it's a hold, you go in for 5 seconds, hold for 5, out for 10. And you rinse and repeat until you feel a little
lightheaded. Is that Wim Hof?
It's, I don't know where it's from.
Okay.
And then to slow your heart rate, you breathe in, but then you breathe out really fucking hard and fast. And you like put pressure on your heart. So it like holds it down a little. And I fucking ripped CYSK. I was in the zone.
Yeah.
But I would say you got to do everything within reason that would make you better. I say the Comedy Bible because the girl I'm dating now, she's a new comic.
Yeah.
And she was hitting walls and walls and walls. I'm like, I don't want you to do anything but write one-liners.
Yeah.
She's like, but I have this story about the thing. I'm like, write a fucking one-liner and write it 50 times. Write 50 one-liners. She's like, why? I was like, you need to get to the rhythm of da-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-dum in your mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not about writing one-liners on stage. It's about you have your premise, but now you know a rhythm and an order of what a joke is, and eventually it'll filter and come out as a thing.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, you'll go back and you'll listen to it. You'll be like, oh, fuck, that's a joke. Oh, shit. I remember like year 4, year 5, I finally started writing actual jokes.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, I learned how to write a fucking joke, bro. Like, it took
I think
forever.
I feel like I'm resetting because I was that arrogant fuck where I was like, fuck one-liners. One-liners sound scripted. And now that's where I'm at. I'm like, you know what, Phil, how about, okay, you don't want to do one-liners. You're a story guy.
Sure.
What's the fucking middle?
Yeah.
Do 3-liners.
I mean,
whatever the fuck,
I've combined the one-liners with my stories, and I've blended it into a nice like way of talking. It's finally like me reaching like the next phase of my evolution. But I always tell people, I'm like, if you don't know how to write a one-liner, I don't give a fuck about your stories.
Yeah.
Because how are you, like, unless you're naturally charismatic and charming, most people don't know how to tell a story.
Yeah.
And if you at least know how to fit in punches and beats, you know how to bring your story to life. If not, then we're just going to hear you about going to the grocery store and like forgetting an avocado. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Why is that funny?
You know what's funny about like how you mentioned like storytelling and how like it correlates with going to the punch finally, right?
Yeah.
I learned that shit going into therapy because my therapist told me, he's like, dude, he's like, you know what I realized with the rhythm with what you're going through? I don't know what to think of your stories
Mhm.
because you'll be like, oh, we went to Amsterdam and it was fun as fuck. But then me and my friends, we beat the shit out of each other and I don't have any friends anymore. But then we ate this good food. Like it was just like up and
It's
down.
too much.
And he's like, you got to write your own warrior story. He's like, every culture has like their warrior.
Mhm.
It's like, do you want to like Hispanic? It's like Aztec or Mayan, or it's like Viking or like a samurai. He's like, do you want to know what they all have in common? After they fucking decapitated a whole army of motherfuckers, like they're sitting around a fire, and what's motivating them is a happy ending, like a victorious ending.
Yeah, you have to come out.
That's what that punch is.
So there's a podcast that it doesn't exist no more, but their catalog is great. It's called Let's Talk About Sets.
Yeah.
And that podcast, because of driving, I would just listen to, and it was two guys from New York, mid-level comics, making it like going from like feature headline spot to trying to go like headline national spots.
Yeah.
And they would break down each episode by themes. And so themes would be like surprise ending. Themes would be like dark humor. The themes would be like so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And then they will have guests on. Then you will listen to bits from professionals and from the locals that match the theme, and then they break it. It's like an hour long, and I would always, if I'm fucking frustrated with the joke, I go on their podcast and I would just listen to something.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, that's right. So now when I write, I have this like built-in filter of like, okay, what am I saying? But what is the exact opposite?
Yeah.
What is okay? So this is a white person. I need to put a black person in it.
Yeah.
This is a one thing. Then this is someone's high energy. Someone's got to be dead energy.
Yeah.
Okay. Why did I get there? Because I'm like, an important concept of a story is contrast.
Yeah.
You don't know that because you're just up there talking, and unless you inherently feel that as you talk, you'll feel where the story's gonna go. You have to have the structure, the bones, and like almost like. Yeah, just like, you know how a car works, right? You put gas in it and it goes. I'm like, yeah, but you should know like what the muffler's for, like how much gas. You can't just slam on the gas.
Yeah.
Like you start building all that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And writing a joke is one of the hardest things I've ever done, but just practice and then give yourself the best opportunity to be the funniest you can. Get the comedy Bible. It has worksheets in it. It doesn't make you build your comedy. It gives you brainstorming exercises.
Yeah.
It'll ask you, give me 5 things that happened to you when you were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then you write that down. And then the next one is just like, all right, if you could tell your kid something in those scenarios, what would you do? And all of a sudden you're doing this thing, but you're not thinking about those specifics. You're now thinking about a joke you had.
Yeah.
A premise you did where you're like, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. It's like beating a Mario level.
Yeah.
And you're finding the hidden tunnel that you couldn't find before, and you're like, that's how I get to the next point. Ah!
You know what's funny about that is like I'm so fucking like actually I'm like mild OCD.
You're everything, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You're a litany of things.
Yeah, dude. I have like all my shit indexed in Google Docs.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a whole file where it's like epilepsy because I have
Sure.
That's another part of the litany, but like I remember my first set that I did, like that I recorded like as my first tight submission clip, right? It's all like one-liners about epilepsy. But then it's like now 3 years later, I added like 5-10 more things. And that's what you like, you're just adding to it.
And then you keep sifting like a gold miner.
Yeah.
Your first 4 years, you're not looking to be a knockout. Like feature. Like, people always tell me, oh, I got 15, I got 20. And I'm like, you don't. You have maybe 5. Because if I listen to it and you're getting 1 laugh a minute.
Yeah.
Then that's what in 10 minutes, that's 10 laughs. A professional is probably 4 to 6 laughs a minute.
Yeah.
Like really, like sit back and listen to every line delivers a reaction.
Yeah.
And they started off with the block of granite.
Yeah.
And then chisel. But you have to know how to use the hammer, what angle you're looking for.
Yeah.
How do you bring to life a thing that you are been struggling with? And epilepsy is great. I think that I've been working on spooky bitches since I started. Spooky Bitches came off as a riff, and it just evolved over time. It's now like it could be my closer if the crowd, depending on the crowd.
Yeah.
But it's about 4 to 6 minutes
Mm-hmm.
that I can just do.
It's
this.
about how you're into Spooky Bitches.
Yeah. Like
And you know why I think I don't want to cut you up, but I think what you're getting at is like it's a fucking vulnerable side of you.
Sure.
That you're, because you know what, I recently did a mic. I did Lexi's mic, and I was like, I was trying out this new dark shit, and she's like, yeah, people want to know that vulnerable side of you.
Yeah.
You know what else it is like, I was talking to Bewey, and he was telling me, he's like, dude, like, to be honest, he's like, you look like an intimidating motherfucker, and you started some shit early on, so no one's gonna take your side because of how you look.
Yeah.
Now you got to build that shit up, and he's like, I know you're a good fucking person.
Yeah.
There's people in this, whatever 5 friendship circle that know you're a good person. Nobody else. They're like, yeah, this guy's fucking. There's some shit. He's a fire starter or something,
Yeah.
And dude, that shit is so funny to me because like here's how how do I put this? When there's like a drug addict and they go, yo, you know what, man? You need to just stop doing coke. And they're like, yeah, but you know what? I've been doing it less. Yeah. And then they come off it and they're like, yeah, but you know what? I do it at a stable level, like once a month, And that's where I'm at with trash talking. It's so bad, dude. I'm like, yeah, but everybody. I'm trying to justify talking trash rather than just like, you know what? What the fuck does it do for me?
Exactly.
It doesn't do shit.
Anything.
But I was just like raised around that, you know? Because to me, like this is how I look at it. I'm like, how do I put this? Like I was saying, it's like, where do you draw the line? Like if I was like, yo, man, so and so, they're an awesome person, but I think their comedy sucks. And then that gets spread around or some shit, right? It's like, you can't do that about this person because they're local. I could do it about Natalie Cuomo or fucking Louis C.K., And then the other thing, too, is...
but we still do it.
Yeah. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Bro, any motherfucker who says that, like, yo, man, if I were you, I'd stop talking like... Okay, how about this? If you told me, hey, man, I don't talk trash about you, whatever, let me search my name in your messenger and we'll see how much fucking trash you talk. Don't fucking tell me that, you know what I mean? It's the pot calling the kettle black type shit.
I mean,
that's just.
I've never. Listen, if you don't like me, you don't have to like me. I'm a pretty likable person.
Yeah.
I don't do anything to anyone. Well, that's debatable. Ladies. But yeah, I think don't worry about any of that.
Yeah.
It's high school.
It is high school.
But are you here to be liked or are you here to be good?
Yeah.
Because if you're here to be liked, then that shit'll bother you. Oh, this person said this thing, even though I never said anything, and then who gives a fuck?
Yeah, who gives a shit
Stand
about
on
that?
business and be like, I didn't say shit. Get the fuck out of my face.
You know what's wrong is like people catch me in the wrong moment, and I'll fucking tweak about that shit. When I'll sleep it over, I'll be like, I don't even give a fuck if all of you don't like me. Like, I'm here to do comedy. I don't think there's any booker who's like, oh, did you hear about how much trash? No, if you're fucking good enough, you'll get on that show.
Oh, I know. I know.
You know why I'm all riled up about this is because, like I said, like I just hear shit from 2-3 years ago, and I don't even remember saying any. Like. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's fine. Yeah. Most people aren't funny. Most people are doing this for the social. And the high school rules apply to them.
Yeah.
And the little bites that they can get for little shows here and there, and then someone else gets other bites, and maybe they said something they didn't like, and all of a sudden becomes this like, and then about this person, about that person. You should be leveling out of that.
Yeah.
If your goal is to just be funny.
Yeah.
And not give a fuck. What's his name? The guy from Comedy Central, Josh, the black kid with the hoodie. Josh.
I'm not sure.
Anyways, he's got like this Facebook following. He'd be young black kid. He's got little braids and he wears like this little hoodie. He was in Chicago for a minute. I caught him at his like before he left Chicago, my beginning.
Yeah.
So like very small window. No one talked to him. Everyone was surprised when they saw him on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
But no one was,
because he just focused on his
that's
shit.
all he gave a fuck
Yeah.
about. I don't give a fuck. People don't realize this. Like, there's a lot of hurt people that do comedy. We get it. But I entered it like, yes, I wanted to meet people and have friends. But there was a switch in me not long ago where I was like, I'm just here to fucking bang the mic.
Yeah.
And if you like me, cool. If you don't like me, you have no reason not to like me. I've literally done nothing. Nothing. I've never cursed out anybody. I've never swung on nobody. I don't start no Facebook beefs. I try to support, like, share my friends' comedy.
Yeah.
I try to give feedback honestly and creatively or whatever, critically. And I think that you get back what you put out, bro.
Yeah.
You will always get back what you put out. And so focus on the funny, challenge yourself.
I think I'm leveling up from that mindset of like, this is also a hang.
Yeah.
When it's not like, fuck the hang. Like,
the
I'm here
hang
to.
was so fun though. Hang the first 5 years is everything.
Yeah.
It's because it's your class, and there's a bit of competition.
Yeah.
And then you want to see each other. This is your new life.
Yeah.
This is your new. What are you doing this weekend? I don't know, but I'm gonna go see my friend's show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go bowling. What am I, gay? No, I'm just And then you develop these friendships, and then you finally settle into like what you want to do, how you want to do it, or like blah blah blah. And like high school or college, then you all migrate, you leave, you find this is where I'm at now because my class, the ones that have stayed, are now like reaching super high goals.
Yeah.
And getting super fucking like shout outs on major everywhere. And for example, Miss Atano.
Yeah.
Tano's just my G, bro. She started a year right after me, and that
fucking love Jess.
Our hangs were amazing.
Yeah,
the crew, the type of characters, because her and me, would bring about wild characters, nigga. Sorry, Chicago stand up. And that was fun until we both were like, we're funny at mics, but we should be on more shows.
Yeah,
and then we both kind of like. Yeah, let's do what we need to do. She got really into getting followers and messaging bookers and stuff.
Yeah.
She's a wild child. She went through a lot. She might have burned some bridges, but she was still getting booked. And other people be like, why is Jess getting booked? And the producer who would hear that question be like, because she's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's
probably also because she doesn't give a fuck about the bridges she burned,
She does, but she's, again, when people go through life hands you lemons, like your family passing.
Yeah.
You have to find a way to deal, and not everyone deals the same quiet, mousy way.
Yeah.
And I mean, because I'm defending my friend and I defend myself because I've had my moments too.
I feel like if you're a good comic, you have to have at least one fucking breakdown a year. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you're a good human, you shouldn't be having those breakdowns. But if your breakdowns out of your control, like someone rented you an apartment, but it turns out that place was in foreclosure, the landlord didn't tell you, and all of a sudden the bank shows up and throws all your shit outside. You're allowed to fucking feel that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, someone came and took your fucking tire off your car.
Yeah.
And now you can't get to work. You can feel that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a very positive, self-care, therapeutic type of dude. So I find myself, my breakdowns happen around now. My breakdowns happen
like seasonal?
Yeah, they happen at the end of winter, beginning of spring. And I had a gnarly one about a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
But it was healthy. It was good. I've been doing a lot of reading podcasts about certain things about relationships and stuff. And I've had to heal some wounds. And what's fun about that is that I started writing out the feelings and the words that are coming out, and I'm working on this bit
Yeah.
about how my issues with relationships.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a banger, but maybe it'll be a banger 5 years from now.
Yeah.
But those seeds are there, and I took my issues, and the comic self now goes, we're gonna sprinkle these seeds onto this fucking foundation of material or know-how or structure, and then over time see what plants come out.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean,
I
that's the way you cope with it. It's like I wanted to write, like, so during lockdown I had all this shit going on in my mind. I was like, what the fuck should I do? And I started writing this book. You know how, like, in Shawshank he says, like, get busy living or get busy dying? I want to write this book about, like, get busy laughing or get busy crying, because you could fucking, that's your reaction.
That's very good.
That's your reaction to fucking everything. You know, because, like, all the funerals that I had to go to, like,
Bro.
you know how much family drama there is of, like, you're not crying enough, or you know some bullshit like that,
Sure.
like, or like my like yeah. But you get what I'm saying is like, but you know, on the flip side of that is, I did have some jokes that I was in a class where, like, Chelsea Hood was subbing.
Sure.
She's like, bro, that's raw.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like people will feel bad for you hearing that. You know.
I will tell you this, and we can land the plane soon.
Yeah.
Rovan Hill, shout out Rovan. Rovan Hill, this was back when I started 2018. I saw him do a open mic at the Mutiny, and he was like, my mom dead, my sister just died, my dad just died, my grandmama just died, my other auntie just died. And he's like, and the bitch I'm seeing the other day told me, you don't pay me enough attention. And then all he does is he's like, bitch, my mama died, my sister died, my brother died, and then, oh, you don't pay me enough attention, bitch, my mother died.
Yeah.
And it went on. Dude, I'm not doing it justice. It's a great bit.
Yeah.
It got us rolling, bro.
Yeah.
One person in the audience was fucking on the ground like, ah.
Yeah.
Because it was super raw.
Yeah.
It was super funny. And the contrast was like, he's dating a girl who wants his attention.
Yeah.
And he just keeps naming all the people that are dead as to why he hasn't been able to, like, hold her hand. It's fucking.
Yeah.
It was in that moment. That was great. And that's how you take the grief, the problems, and you find a way. He's done it again since then, but it's never been that raw, that moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, take it to
see, you know what the problem is? Like, you gotta do it when it's not as raw, but it's super silly.
Oh,
and
man.
That's what that was. It was that fucking pyramid of this is, like,
it's
serious shit.
It's the contrast,
but it's funny. Yeah.
It's the contrast. Give me make the tension, but give me the release somewhere.
Yeah.
Give me that's another structure. It's like, give me the tension and then release it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, lean into who you are, lean into what your people are gonna perceive you, but then convince them otherwise. There's a comic that I love him to death. We know who he is. I ain't gonna name him, but he likes starting shit.
Yeah.
He likes starting shit, and when he does shows, he goes up there and
you could just say my name.
Nah.
No,
and immediately
just,
tells the audience that they don't like him.
Mm.
And he buries himself. But then he doesn't win at the end.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes, so he'll, like, if he starts off bad and it keeps going bad, then he attacks the audience because he's like, I'm the guy you don't like. And it's like, no, bro. You can start off as the guy we don't like, but don't tell us we don't like you.
Yeah.
You give us, like, oh, I'm a wild guy. I've done these pills. I've done these drugs. I've sold to children. I've done whatever. But, like, find me. Where you taking me to make me go, he's not that bad.
Yeah.
That guy's not bad.
It's like avoid saying, oh, yeah, I'm not doing that one again.
Yeah.
Like, just fucking move on to the next one. Because then you're telling the audience, I'm a shitty comic. This is what you paid for.
Yeah,
you know?
I really don't think that you should do that. You should definitely want them on your side or address, you're tall, you're on the bigger side, and you're Polish, and that just comes with the territory.
Yeah.
But never assume they don't like you because you're white. That's fucking stupid. When someone says that, like, I know you. Oh, here comes another fucking dumb white guy. Shut up. Shut up. You're not a dumb white guy.
Yeah.
You're trying comedy.
You know what was difficult for me that's reminding me of what you're saying is like I lost like 30 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to be way fatter and I'm like, so where am I at now?
Yeah.
It's all like, cause it's not skinny jokes.
relative.
It's not fat jokes, but it's kind of like, all right, I got to do dad bod joke. I got to switch it out with dad bod, you know?
I mean, it's you'll always have something you want to say or bring up.
Because how you're saying, like, when he goes on stage, he's like, all right, I'm the fucking average white guy you're going to hate.
Yeah.
It's like me coming up and say I lost another 100 pounds, and then I go up there, all right, who's fat like me? They'd be like,
no,
what?
your progression as a human is reflected on the stage because I just lost 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And that opens a whole opportunity of talking about food, talking about your habits, talking about your trauma response to being beat as a kid is to eat a box of crackers. Like, that's a crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever happens there.
I got a bit about how all my relatives used to fucking, like, shit on me for being fat. And I'm like, and then I didn't realize till I was older, they were all, like, Holocaust survivors. So it's like they're all... You're in the biggest fat camp ever, you know, like
that's fun. Yeah. Use it all.
And then like Polish food is horrible, so I would be that skinny as well.
No. Shout out pierogi. Shout out glunkies.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah,
I wanted to ask before we wrap it up. Like, so how long have you been going at it?
8 years.
8 years.
This would be my 8, but COVID took 2 out, to be honest.
Yeah.
And when I got back into it in 2022. It was rusty for like 6 months, and then I kind of got back in the hang. I don't do mics like that no more. I do it before COVID. I was hitting 12 to 15 mics a week.
Mm-hmm.
A week. I mean,
that was the first
first 3 years.
First 3 years, yeah.
I was just road dogging around the city.
Yeah, dude. I fucking the first 2 years. I don't know, maybe like 7 or 8, like at least one a fucking day. But then I slowed down just from getting sick and shit. I'm trying to justify my own bullshit.
Yeah,
man.
well, I'm telling you, you get out of it what you put in.
Yeah.
I came into this, I want a headline, I want to make fuckloads of money, and I want to be friends with cool motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And I don't get that at the lowest level.
Yeah.
When I go to Austin, when I go to LA, when I go to all these places, I'm like, oh, I'm seeing signs of that life.
Yeah.
My 45 needs to be tight.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, how do I do that? Well, I need 20s. I need 25 minuters. Where do I get that? Well, you got to fucking la 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 la. And I reverse engineered it.
Yeah.
And I'll show you later. On my phone alone, I got over 1,100 recorded open mics.
Wow.
1,100. Starting from 2018. I number them. I date them.
Yeah.
And I label them. And I put them all into different labels.
Do you remember what your first mic was?
Yeah. That was in 2015, but that's a whole different story. I was breaking up with someone. I was in a panic attack mode, and did improv. Signed up for the Second City open mic, which was on a Sunday at the 773 stage on Belmont. And it was a Sunday morning, so it wasn't like a nighttime. There was no bar.
Yeah.
And it was packed. It was like 30 people. And I wrote down the jokes that I was gonna do, and I crushed. Yeah. And then after I was done, I told them that was my first time doing comedy, stand-up comedy, and they were like, "What?"
Yeah.
I was like, because my joke had beats, and
a
structure, and a surprise at the end, and a girl and her friend came up and they asked me for my number to follow me. This before Instagram was like a thing and shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh my God, we have to follow you. We're like gonna be fans." And I didn't do comedy again for 2 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I would have kept going right there, you know?
I had a small window of opportunity to hop on a plane and escape reality for like 2 years.
Yeah. That's a cool that's probably the coolest start story I ever heard, but I mean, yeah.
That was my reaction to grief.
Yeah.
I broke up with the girl that 8 years, anyways.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even be in Chicago.
Yeah.
And somehow I had a bundle of money.
Yeah.
And just a small window of opportunity, and I was like, I like you, comedy, but I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's cool, man.
That came back. Yeah, it was a hell of, and I needed it. I needed to grow. I needed it, man. If you have the time to do it, young people, go do it.
Yeah.
Just go. Just a year, 2 years, volunteer, work at a hostel, build up some fucking life, man.
Yeah.
And perception, because you might be meeting someone, like you might be meeting some bitches at the bar that are heckling you during your show.
Yeah.
And maybe me too. But like I have this sense of being like, what happened to you this week that you acting like this?
Yeah.
You know, let me talk to you, the person. Like I have a real, like, everybody's a human. And as a comic, you should realize like the sensitivities of people and how to reach them. And then like I think we were like way too in the weeds at this point. But yes, just go out there, travel, work on your fucking funny.
Yeah.
And give yourself your outcome. What do you want out of this?
Yeah.
What do you want?
Do you got a goal this year?
Yeah. I'm going to film my half hour at Mikey O.
Fuck yeah.
That's gonna be May 22nd at Joe's on Weed. It's all Latino comics, about 200-300 people.
Nice.
I'm gonna film it, and then I'm shipping it to New York, Miami, and LA. And I'm gonna see if I can just get a bunch of headlining gigs and get on the road.
Yeah.
And I want to start making like hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars a month.
Yeah.
Like I'm not waiting for nobody.
Yeah.
You know, I
That's
don't
exciting,
need nobody.
dude.
I don't need nobody.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's time to fucking go. Is how I feel. I'm like, I've proven enough my 2025s. I'm like, okay, now we're gonna aim for 45. They're gonna be choppy, but in order to get that 45, I need an entire litany of 25 half hours.
Yeah.
You know, I did 7 in February. I did 3 this month. Okay, that's not bad at all. That's not bad. That's doing 3 half hours a month is the average. You know, maybe if I can get that to 5.
Yeah.
And then film May, and then market it, and now I'm booked out from here to fucking Chattanooga. You know? Let's go, dude.
Fuck yeah.
I love the hang in the city, but the city caps you out.
Yeah.
You're not gonna go far there. No one's gonna go far.
Yeah.
No one's gonna go far.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're a fucking talent, R.I.P. Ken Flores. You know, like unless you're just an absolute like juggernaut.
Yeah.
And they come around every 5 to 10 years. But I don't have that. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm cashing in my 401k right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I have 8 years of iffish, mediocre shit, and I can't risk on anyone.
You've you know what? That's like what I felt like happened to Jess, was that like you reach that point where you're like, I'm the king in this little village.
Yeah.
There's nothing else I can do.
Zacho Ryan and I talked.
Yeah.
And
I was supposed to have him on, and then I think something happened where we scheduled it, and then the week that I hit him up to have him on, that's the week he moved, and we just forgot that we scheduled it. But he's awesome.
I told him because I had this post about a lot of these move to LA, New York comics sure are in Chicago a lot.
Yeah.
And we got into a conversation about it, and he's like, yeah, you reach a point where there's no more Laugh Factory Zanies times you can do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You've milked it. I'm like, yeah, you beat the video game, Zacho. You beat the game. And now you're going to go beat the game in Austin. But if you beat the game in Austin, all of a sudden Jeff Ross is there. All of a sudden Dave Attell is there.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? Tom Segura.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, why don't you feature for me, dog? You got fucking fire.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, now that makes moves. Here you can feature for who? For who?
Yeah.
Who? And even if you do feature for Tom Segura here, he doesn't live here. There's no consistent basis that connects you to these other places.
Yeah.
So for me, my goal is tighten up, get funnier. My problem isn't funny. My problem is like from beginning to end is like, how am I flying you there?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
but you're gonna laugh. So now I'm just working on that. And so if I can pay off my car using comedy, then
Yeah.
you know, if I could just pay my car note.
Mm.
And right now, we're knocking on that door. We're knocking on that door, and it's 8 years.
Yeah.
8 years, but it was hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Hard work. No one can take that away from me. Hard. I've seen motherfuckers that had zero personality and charisma, and now I see them and they're still kind of shelled, but they're not like shelled on stage.
Yeah.
And you see them just fucking rule it
Yeah.
when they go up there. And
Yeah.
they're still their mousy, quiety self.
Yeah.
But the jokes are sharp. Their timing is perfect. Their ability to move in and out with the audience
Yeah.
is great. I can name guys right now that I've been like, I'm finally glad they're getting some shine. It's because they're finally comfortable with themselves. Because
Yeah.
they've always been funny.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah. But anyways, let's land this plane, buddy.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Thank you for getting wild. And yeah, dude. Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
follow me at Tito's Tales. That's Tito's Tales on Instagram, Facebook, and in your mom's house.
and we'll see your special May 22nd.
Well,
right?
it'll be filmed then, but
Yeah.
I don't know when it'll come out. It'll
Is that
be
your first special?
It won't be a special. It's like a half-hour mixtape. It's all my Latin comedy
Okay.
Chicago jokes.
Okay, cool.
So